Okay, good evening everyone. I want to thank both of you for being here and for everyone to be here. I'm not here to beat up the DBPR tonight. I'm not here to beat up anyone. I'm here, as you know, I've been in politics and public service working from public officials for 30 years, so I get where you guys are coming from. As one who's lived in no less than a half a dozen condos in my life, what I have seen as of late, and this isn't about a records request, because quite frankly, I haven't had a problem with a records request. The problem is with the behavior of board members who, the cronyism without term limits, and quite frankly, I think you know, Jason, I'm not a fan of term limits, you vote them out, but in a condo where you live, where you've got the Klitsch's and the Mahjong Club and the Canasta Club, and this one's not going to go against this one because you won't go to dinner with her anymore, and whatever, it's where you live. Nobody wants consternation where you live. Now, from things that have been echoed this evening, condo associations have their attorney. And make no mistake, that attorney is there to represent the association. One would think and like to hope that they represent all of us residents, but that's not always the case. So my question to you is, as you go forward with whatever legislation, and thank you for doing this, I think your public records request is excellent, it's necessary. Going after individuals, yes. But moving forward, I want to know why. That the homeowners don't have, legislatively, an attorney of record to represent the homeowners. Why do we have to go hire a private counselor to represent some of us? And by the way, in many of these buildings, and God bless our lovely multicultural dimension of our county, I'm thrilled, I've lived here 46 years of my life. But many people who, it's a cultural thing, I believe also, don't understand our laws, let alone condo docs, that many of which are antiquated. I know in my building, I'm still looking at 1996 documents. Moving forward, there needs to be, just like we have the 40-year certification for condominiums, why don't we have every 5 years update your condo docs? And I'm not talking about just adding amendments of the legislation that you all pass in Tallahassee. I'm talking about those documents were originally written for the developer, to protect the developer. Once they're gone, that's it. So that mandatory, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, it may be, but every board member needs to serve a mandatory class in condo education.
Right before you walk.
And not a 5-minute online, I got my certificate, you know.
Not a paper handing over saying just sign.
Exactly.
Like your HIPAA privacy form. So
Exactly.
Right before you and Ms. Buck walked in, there's part of the presentation, and I apologize on their behalf that it seemed too nice and not street enough, but they are, that the education is changing.
Okay.
It's going to be real education, like lawyers have to do, like a continuing education almost, but
Has to be.
it has to be real and it has to be
Agreed.
And it gives less of an excuse to say, I didn't know that, I wasn't familiar, I'm not a sophisticated party,
Right.
I'm just a baker,
Right.
I serve on a board, I did this voluntarily.
Right.
Again.
But that leads me back to my point of, if homeowners association are required to have representation, and they do, then the residents should also be. Because she would not have 231 people walking in her office in 3 months if they had an in-house residence attorney to send the letters or to do the work. Because at the end of the day, if I have to hire a private lawyer, I'm paying for my lawyer, I'm paying for the condo's lawyer also, and then your neighbors go up in an S show. You know what I'm talking about. It's not okay. So hopefully, we can incorporate something like that moving forward, because one ombudsman, and with all due respect, one office in Miami to handle over 1 million people in your condo community ain't enough. Thank you very much for your time.